Well, hello, happy people. Welcome back to another episode of 6 Minute Problem Solving. I'm Melissa. I have 12 topics, I have 6 minutes, and I have one problem to solve. Okay, so let's get right into it. Of course, as always, we are starting out with $12 and we will see which problem we will be solving. We are still dealing with another brand of H2O, and no, you're not seeing double. Today, I'm filming this on a Friday because your girl will be out of pocket during next week. Okay, so I'm pre-filming this one, but the problems still remain. Let's roll the dice and see what we will solve today. Oh, 11. So we have problem number 11, and that is kids. Uh-oh. We fill it up quite at the bottom. There we go. We got it filled up to kid. Let's put in our $12, $11. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have $1 left and we will put that back for another time. So how are you doing? How's your day? How's your kids, by the way? How are your kids? Kids are truly a gift, right? They are. I think so, anyway. But what happens when they grow up and leave the nest? That's what we're going to talk about today. That's the problem we're going to attempt to solve. When kids leave home, should you still feel obligated to financially cover them? What do you think? Well, for me, this is how I raised my kids. I can't speak for anyone else. Again, these are my personal lessons. I'm not a financial advisor, mediator, counselor, marriage person, any of that. But I have lived life and I have had many of life's lessons. So these are just tips based on my personal experiences. So the way I raised my kids, I have 2 sons. And from the age of them being born, literally, I was teaching them to be independent. And the reason that is because you never know what happens from day to day. I didn't know if I would live throughout their lifetime. I didn't know if I would see them grow up. We never know. So from birth, the way I raise my kids is to be independent. I taught them how to do things a little earlier than they should. They were walking, they were talking, they were reading, they were writing, all of that as early as their mental would allow them to do so. So why I'm saying that is because when the time came for them to technically leave the nest, yes, it was difficult, but it was something that had to be done. Now, once they left the nest, yes, I did continue to loan them money from time to time if they needed assistance. And at the time, I wasn't under a budget per se, so I didn't necessarily include them in my monthly bills. But should you? Should your kids have a section, a little slot on your monthly bills? Well, that'll be for you to decide because you know your kids' circumstance way better than anyone else. So for me, I don't necessarily have a slot on my bills for my grown kids who are 30 and 25, by the way. But I do pay attention to needs. So if my son needs something, he has 4 kids. So if he needs something, then yes, I'll try my best to try to be there to help him. Just recently on my budget, I did include a savings challenge for my grandkids. So once I reached a certain dollar amount for my grandkids, I decided to either use that for when they came to visit me or when I wanted to just give it to their parents to say, hey, go do something for the kids. So you can do that, but whether they should regularly be included in on your budget as a kind of bill or a sinking fund, you can have your kids on your list as a sinking fund just in case, then that's totally up to you. I would encourage you to do what's best for your family. And I do see a lot of people budget for graduation and budget for their kids' college or budget for their kids' first car, and they're still doing maintenance on their kids' vehicles, or if their kid has an apartment, they may budget for their kids' electric bill because they want to help them stay on track with their bills, and all that is perfectly fine. But now, where would you start? So hopefully you won't start and wait until they get teenage age, or when they get to be adult or graduate from high school. You'll start when they're small, and you can help them learn to budget and manage their money even when they're small. Because you do have some kids that will say, no, I'm putting this $5 my auntie gave me into my piggy bank, and they want to save it. But then you have some kids, no, I'm taking this dollar and buying everything in the store. So we have to be balanced when it comes to our kids. But that's the topic that I wanted to discuss today, that empty nest. Because now when your kids leave home, are they still an obligation? I think it depends on where they're going. For example, I had a son that went to the military. Is he now the military's obligation? If he needs anything, of course, I'm going to be there to help him out as well. My other son, same thing. And my younger son do not have any kids. My older son does. So, you have to be balanced and weigh the situation depending on what's going on and the circumstances. So just because you have an empty nest, does that relieve you of all of your parental duties financially when it comes to your kids? But what I would encourage is to be sensible with it. Just be sensible, because once your kids leave the nest, does that free you up of your financial responsibilities? That's a personal question. I can't answer that, but I am giving you something to think about, okay? I'm Miss Melissa. Thank you for joining me today for this 6-minute problem solver. I hope something in this information you were able to use. And until next time, have a good day. Bye-bye, you guys.